Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is December the 16th, 2017. Strong hand. What else does it say? Buy and hold. All right. Long-term thinking, people. I wanted to say yesterday's show was great. This week in Bitcoin. Check it out. Always check out the link section below. It's in the link section below. We learned a lot from Simon Dixon, the Fundy AU down from Australia. He was also on. Shout out to Perth, all my people in Perth. But with Simon, he taught us a lot, and I'm going to review what he taught us in a second. But remember, guys, delayed gratification in life. Don't jump into things. Wait it out. It pays off. We're hitting an all-time high again. Isn't it nice that you didn't sell your Bitcoin? It's all about starting with one Bitcoin. I know you guys can get there. For the people who don't have one Bitcoin yet, just buy and hold. Buy and hold. All right. So Simon Dixon, some of the things that I learned from him that were inspirational. He said, you don't want to be that Bitcoin pizza guy. Remember the guy who spent like 20,000 Bitcoin on a pizza a long time ago? So yeah, that's why you don't want to end up, you're like, oh, I'm going to spend 0.001 Bitcoin on a pizza today, or I don't know. And then in a few years, you're like, oh, wow, I paid the price of a car for a pizza. You don't want to be that guy. Hold it, baby. You don't need to spend this stuff. Don't get tempted into doing something with your Bitcoin. I hear these stories all the time. See them on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt. All right. Another thing that Simon brought up, hardware wallets being shipped out, the number that are being shipped out, that are being bought right now, that number is more important than the huge numbers of people that are signing up every day for Coinbase and for exchanges, because the people, it's another step in the learning curve. If you have purchased a Trezor or whatever hardware wallet you're interested in, that means you're that much closer to becoming, well, to proving that you're part of the 20%, that you're not impulsive, that you're going to do something. You're just you're joining the holding club, basically, and you're not going to end up disillusioned with Bitcoin or with cryptocurrency. Most likely, if you're buying a Trezor and you're storing your Bitcoin there, you're not going to do anything silly. You're not going to lose it on an exchange. And these numbers are great that we're hearing about people signing up for Coinbase, signing up for whatever exchange. That doesn't mean they actually bought something. It just means they signed. It's pretty difficult, I hear, to even get approved once you're signed up and even buy on Coinbase. We're going to talk about Bitflyer in a second. That supposedly is easy. So yeah, I would love to know these numbers of people who are buying Trezors, how many are, how big the waiting list is, because it gives us a little bit more of in-depth knowledge on the type of person that's joining us here in the land of the hold and the bold. Golden hold. All right. What else do we have here? What else? Something that he said that was awesome. Oh, yeah. Scaling issues are because of adoption. I think we all understand this. The reason Bitcoin has scaling issues is because people are actually using it. Same, Ethereum is starting to have scaling issues. That's because people are using it for ICOs, but they are using it. So you want to get to a point where you have scaling issues. If your coin doesn't have a scaling issue, which is like 99.99% of them, yeah, it's just being speculated on. It's just being traded. It's just a mechanism to get people more Bitcoin, risk takers, going in and out of this altcoin to get more Bitcoin. Again, buy and hold. It pays off with the crypto dividends. We're going to get into that in a second. But yeah, Simon was great yesterday. You got it. You have to check out that link below. People are raving about it on Twitter. And by the way, people have been saying some really nice things about me on Twitter. That's real. It's very nice of everyone to compliment me over there. Really nice stuff. So follow me at TechBalt over there on Twitter. It has been a while. It's been a wild, fun time over there. One other thing that Simon pointed out, and I don't want to twist his words or anything like that, but I asked him about the Tether situation, and he said Bitfinex appears to be doing so well that, I mean, if something did go wrong with Tether, I mean, they could almost like bail out Tether basically. That's kind of paraphrasing him. You're gonna have to watch the show for exactly what he said. I don't want to put words into his mouth. He is an investor. His company invests in Bitfinex, so he himself said he could be biased. But we're going to get in a second. I'm going to get to a tweet that actually, not by him, that talks about the situation at Bitfinex, that talks about the revenue they're bringing in, which is quite impressive. By the way, if you're in the chat, I can't see you guys unless you do the super chat. Then a color pops up, and then I can answer your questions. So pound that like button for the 100 viewers. It's late at night here in Baltimore on the East Coast. I guess we're all getting ready for CME Sunday is tomorrow. And yeah, I'm pretty calm. We're at $19,000. And it's just like, this happens all the time now. It's a new normal. All-time highs are like new normal. Maybe when it hits that big 200, I'll get excited again. I don't know. Maybe we'll just bust through it. The question we're hitting now is it going to happen by the end of the year? Again, long-term thinking here. I'm caring about 2020 and 2024 and beyond. We're going to talk about that in a second. Andy Hoffman has 2 great posts over at cryptogoldcentral.com. I highly recommend them. He actually commented, he was very impressed by Simon Dixon also. Everybody's impressed by Simon Dixon. Everyone should get Simon Dixon on their show. Andy's had Simon on the show. Vortex has had Simon on the show before. But Andy Hoffman at cryptogoldcentral.com. Further update on how user-friendly Bitflyer USA is with high purchase limits. All right, yeah, he's got a guy that's using Bitflyer, the USA version, and it's working well, working a lot better than Coinbase. So if you guys are trying to buy Bitcoin for dollars and you're having a hard time signing up for Coinbase or Gemini or whatever, try out this Bitflyer thing. This dude is raving about it, and Andy is chronicling it, and it's really cool that he's chronicling this. The other article, he says, stay vigilant to remain in the 20%. And that just means being smart, being a long-term thinker, storing your coins at a Trezor, people, again, do things with their Bitcoin to try to increase their Bitcoin. There's no point in doing that. You're an 80%, I mean, you're a borderline 80%er if you do stuff with your Bitcoin, okay? I'm not going to generalize here. There might be some smart people who try to do some things with their or some non-impulsive people who think it's okay to do, some newbies maybe, or just people who've had success. If you keep on doing things with your Bitcoin, you're going to fail eventually. You're going to lose your freaking Bitcoin, okay? Trying to get 2% gains by investing it somewhere or by trading it, you can lose 100%. It's not worth it. You're going to end up crying. Pound that like button because someone over there just did $5. Bitcoin Buddha, you rock. Cheers. No, dude. Bitcoin Buddha, you rock it. Oh, and that's £5, I believe, there. Or euros. I don't even know. It's late at night here. I can't even tell the difference at this hour. I need to take a shower. Okay. Just wanted to add that personal. I know people like the personal touch sometimes. All right. So Bitfinex, I linked to an incredible revenue chart that this guy posted. What is this here? Oh yeah. They're like in the billions in revenue. I didn't write down yeah, my notes are not complete. Check it out below. Bitfinex is bringing in a lot of revenue according to this tweet. And I wanted to say again that, yeah, Tether appears to be, I mean, it's not Bitfinex's fault that everybody thinks Tether is worth $1. That Tether is just a tool of the 80% to go in and out to do their crazy trading. So I don't care if Tether goes away. Again, that's If some 80%ers get stuck with worthless Tether, and I don't think it's going to end up worth this, they keep on saying it's worth $1. They're making it's 80% that make it worth $1. And so why not keep on printing more and more Tether? These 80%ers are just playing into what they're used to in the world that we've grown up in, that the United States can keep on printing dollars, and everyone thinks it's worth $1. It's getting inflated away. Whatever. They want to play. And thank GBT just gave me $10. He didn't say anything, but thanks a lot, GBT. GBT. That's awesome. All right. So yeah, I don't even know why I'm talking about Tether. I just wanted to say it's a tool of the 80%. That's probably why, the only reason I wanted to bring it up. And I don't know why people even trade cryptocurrencies. It's completely ridiculous. When you can just hold and just get your crypto dividends. You know, you got all that B cash. You got 10% on your money there. I mean, some people got 20. Some people got less. Some people got more than 20. You might still get more. It'll pump again. All right. What else do we have here? Yeah, it's a Tether. Just, I mean, it fuels that game, man. It's just a game of flipping coins and not being the last one holding it before holding those coins before they go down in value. And just, I mean, if you want to trade in and out, I mean, use Bitcoin instead of Tether if you're worried about Tether. I don't know. Dude, don't even trade. Don't risk your precious Bitcoin. Don't even risk your precious Litecoin on these freaking altcoins and Tether games or whatever this is. All right. But speaking about altcoins, I'm going to add a new segment to the show. It's the middle of the show segment where we talk about the exchange rates of various top-tier altcoins. Today, it takes 55 Monero to equal 1 Bitcoin. It takes 65 B gold to equal 1 Bitcoin. Dude, just own 1 Bitcoin. All right. Check out Veritasium on CoinMarketCap. The reason I bring this up is when I was in Hong Kong at the beginning of July, I met with a client of mine, and he had done very well with Veritasium. He'd entered a new realm, should we say. And I've talked about this person before. And he had basically had 80 Bitcoin at one point, and by this point, he only had about 15 Bitcoin left. He had turned a lot into Veritasium, into all these altcoins. I'm like, dude, okay, you've done very well with this Veritasium thing. Turn some of it back into Bitcoin. I have no idea that if he did it or not. Then I went to Perth, and there were all these people asking me, all of these ladies asking me about Veritasium. Nathan, who was on the show yesterday, is my witness. Well, I want to say this here. Veritasium, at that time, around July the 4th, was worth about 8% of a Bitcoin. Now it is worth a little less than 2% of a Bitcoin. So, and when Veritasium started, I know now it's worth 14%, excuse me, 0.1, whatever, 1.5% of a Bitcoin. When it started, it was worth about 1.8% of a Bitcoin. So now it's worth less than when it even started, when they debuted this Veritasium thing, which is like all about Reggie Middleton worship. That's all. I mean, and that's what people were. And he might be a good guy or something. But you buy this ICO because you think this dude is cool. Man, it does not pay off over the long run. You value your wealth in Bitcoin, and then you start screaming about how much you lost on Veritasium by not holding Bitcoin. So I hope that guy back in Hong Kong, I hope he got transferred some of that Veritasium back into Bitcoin again. Transferred, sold. I don't even know what I'm saying. All right, what else do I have on my piece of paper? Like after I ran today, I just wrote all this stuff down on this piece of paper. Oh yeah, let's talk about. Well, before here, $5 again. Module. Thoughts on combating FUD with the older, non-technical folk. Yeah, I do have some thoughts on that, actually. They have to get used to the fact that the mainstream media has no clue about this stuff. and that even Bitcoin media people just repeat what other people are saying, and many of them have interests that are against Bitcoin. So they have to ignore the news. I think older people are used to relying on just news sources, just regular mainstream news sources. So, and now there's so many, Fortune's writing about it, Forbes is writing about it every day. My mother, so okay, she's obviously older than I am. I'm not going to say she's old, but she asked me. She's like, "What is this? They say this guy is Satoshi, and he's saying bad stuff about Bitcoin. What's that about?" And it was an article about Craig Wright. I'm like, "You got to ignore this guy." So what I would say to older people: do not, if you do Google searches and you come out with mainstream news sources that are ripping on Bitcoin, you got to ignore it. You really have to ignore it. Watch channels like mine. If you need a shot in the arm, if you need just some inside information, it can be really confusing out there with FUD. And just, I think since you're older, you think of Bitcoin as a savings account. Thus, you're going to hear some bad things along the way, but don't touch your Bitcoin until at least the year 2020 and learn what the Bitcoin halving is. And so I was watching the World Crypto Network. Vortex and Thomas were talking on Friday's show on what's their show called? The Bitcoin Group, and they did an excellent job. But Thomas brought up how there was an article in Wired magazine, and it talked about how in the year 2032, there'd be 99% of all the Bitcoin would be mined by then. And I checked it out, and I linked to this link below. You guys have to check out this link that I linked to below. It's bitcoin.it. It's a wiki looking page, and there's a chart there that shows you after each halving how many Bitcoin will be left to be mined percentage wise, how many Bitcoin will be mined during that time period. And what I am, and I always talk about the year 2020 because it is close, but it's still long term. And I know leading up to the halving we just had, there was a big price increase. So, I expect similar things. But between the 2024 halving is really important also, because during that period that follows that, during that 4-year period, only 656,250 Bitcoin will be mined. Okay, that's a very small amount of new Bitcoin produced. That's the first time it's going to be under 1 million during a 4-year period. I mean, that's big. And then 2028 brings more milestones too, in terms of scarcity. Let's call them scarcity milestones. Bitcoin will, 98% or something like that of all the Bitcoin will have been mined by the year 2028. We're talking about some pretty extreme numbers when we get to the year 2024, 2028, and then 2032. So, I mean, if you've got someone who was just born like yesterday, seriously, and you want to give them a present, a graduation present, say, don't use this Bitcoin until 2032. Or, I'm mixing up all the years. How many years is 20? But whatever, you get my drift here. Try to hang on as long as possible. And as I have said before, I've got a really strong hand. People say, "Oh, you're going to sell all your Bitcoin in the year 2020?" No, I said that's the earliest possible time I would sell any. I have never sold a Bitcoin in my life for dollars. I've never cashed out in the fiat. It's a taxable situation here in the United States, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is because I know it's going to be worth a lot more. And so, yeah, I'm very willing to wait until 2024, not to touch nothing until 2024. I mean, as it is right now, I'm living a great life without touching any of my Bitcoin. I mean, I'm traveling all around. Again, it's about being frugal. It's about being happy too. I'm living it up. You feel a lot better when you have a lot of Bitcoin, when you have a substantial amount of Bitcoin in the bank, when you have enough to it gives you a new air of financial confidence when, Bitcoin's $19,000 a piece. I mean, it's amazing when your savings account is doing very well and you're getting crypto dividends along with it all. So yeah, I check out that link. Seriously, you can I like to see graphs and charts like that. And I mean, I can't describe everything on here right now. You'll be bored, but check it out. It's linked to below. I think I linked to everything below. Here's a tweet. It says, "Holding sounds easy, but is actually much harder psychologically than trading. Holding is a dedicated daily practice of restraint, not reacting to FUD, media, tweets, crisis du jour, etc. It's how we earn our future wealth. Took me years to appreciate this. TechBalt knows," and that means me. I'm TechBalt. So thank you very much. Low BTC, his name is, but I do link to that below. Yeah, another reason. Here, coinmarketwatch.com is a very good site. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. It gives you the it makes it easy to see how much every altcoin is worth in Bitcoin. It's better than coinmarketcap.com. So I linked to that below. I also linked to an article about IOTA. It's not some hype article. It's about their issues with the technology. I did not read the entire thing, but it's interesting if you're a tech person, or if you want to know more than like, oh, IOTA is the next greatest thing. This dude has like studied it and stuff, so good for him. Sunday is CME Sunday, or whatever it is, Chicago, whatever the heck it's called. The futures are gonna start tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm getting all the names wrong. All right, pound that like button if you like that Adam really just wants to take a shower and get a good night's sleep. B Diamond, I want to comment on them real quick in a general sense, because again, that dude really reached out to me, and they say they're a friendly fork. They're even using those terminologies, and it's really unfortunate that there are people out there that use B Diamond. They're trying to scam people. They've created fake B Diamond sites. It's horrible, and this plays into some of the ignorant people out there who are just against crypto dividends. So then they start to say, well, B Diamond's a scam. B Diamond's a scam, and it's not. And they do this crazy analysis based on like scam sites that have nothing to do with B Diamond. My point is this: I wonder what the ulterior motives of some of the people who are crypto dividend haters. What I mean, they don't own any Bitcoin, obviously. They want you probably just to pump up their altcoins, be involved in this trading madness. You don't have to be involved in trading madness or to do things. Maybe there are people who just have Bitcoin businesses, maybe legitimate or illegitimate, and they want you to give them your Bitcoin to invest in their businesses or so they can steal from you in cloud mining scams. I don't know who's putting out this FUD about crypto dividends, but there's a lot of it. And again, the beauty of these crypto dividends is you're holding Bitcoin, you're doing nothing with your Bitcoin, you receive the B Diamond as soon as Trezor can safely split it for you, okay? That's all you do. So, you know, you can listen to all the criticism you want to about B Diamond, you wait it out, and then if it's safe, Trezor is going to split it for you and you'll be good. And they have reached out to Trezor, as was mentioned in my previous show. And they are reaching out to the right people, trying to make it mainstream in the United States of America, not just in Asia. Because again, to all the haters of crypto dividends out there who say, you know, they're cheap Chinese knockoffs or whatever, and that's funny to say. But the bottom line is I was in South Korea, okay? I saw for myself these people buy anything, okay? They don't care what it stands for. I'm just telling you about IOTA. They don't know what that is. They just know it's pumping, it's pumping. They will buy every single one of these crypto dividends, okay? We're getting every single one of these crypto dividends for free. Okay, do you understand how that works? So they pump it up, then we dump it. It's not my fault that there are 80%ers out there that are going to pump these things up for whatever reasons. And guess what? B Diamond might be great. I mean, maybe they're going to do some great things. I don't know. I'm a Bitcoin guy, and I appreciate that there are people trying to form altcoins in a way that they're giving me their free altcoins. That's great. That's great. And we should all think it's great. We should all want them to do great, as well as go as high as possible to be the #2 cryptocurrency on earth because it doesn't take away anything from Bitcoin. But again, I think the haters that are out there of these Bitcoin crypto dividends, they're not fans of Bitcoin. They're fans of you giving them your Bitcoin or buying their altcoin or buying their ridiculous ICO or using their trading platform or just being in the same boat as them, just being a person who wishes they owned Bitcoin so they could get this amazing benefit. And it is an amazing benefit. And yeah, and people are going to say, well, these crypto dividends are worth less and less every time. Well, we've had two. We had Bcash and we had B Gold. Is Super BTC necessarily going to be less than B Gold when like one of the wealthiest people in China in terms of cryptocurrency is behind it? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's put some pressure on Trezor, on Ledger, and all these people to check this stuff out and split this stuff and give it to us and make it easy so we can dump it on some dudes in Korea or China, whoever wants to buy it. And good luck to them. Maybe they'll do well with it. I don't know. Okay. What else did I have written down here? Yeah, man. It's better than flipping altcoins. It's better than flipping altcoins. Getting free altcoins is better than flipping altcoins. All right, and trade, whatever you want to call it. So IOTA, we talked about. Julian Assange has a great tweet out there. Bitcoin is the real Occupy Wall Street. And I mean, you can interpret that a lot of different ways. I kind of interpret it as like Bitcoin is the true rebel here. Bitcoin is the true way of protesting the status quo because it's real action. I saw Occupy Wall Street in person because it was in every city. What was it? Was that in the year 2011? Yes, it was in 2011. Yeah, because I went to a wedding in San Francisco in October 27th, 2011. So I saw them laying around in San Francisco. I saw them laying around in downtown Baltimore, and basically virtue signalers and just bums who just they didn't even know what they were protesting. They couldn't even explain what they were protesting. With Bitcoin, you're not virtue signaling. Okay, you're buying, you're owning something. Okay, you're taking action by using your hard-earned cash, your hard-earned dollars to turn it into this tool of change, okay? This protest vote against the way it is, that you don't want to be in this inflationary system anymore, okay? You want control over yourself. You want freedom. You want the freedom of expression, the freedom to donate to whoever you want to not rely on, credit cards who might censor you. So yes, Julian Assange, Bitcoin is the real Occupy Wall Street. Bitcoin, you're not just complaining and sitting in some tent down at Harbor Place or down in San Francisco or whatever. You're doing something. You're taking action with the Bitcoin, and it's awesome. It's fun to be this, and you can interpret it a lot of different ways. I mean, you might be protesting something that I'm not protesting, but you really are. This is a rebel thing to do. This is going against the way we have done things for so many years. In this country, in the Western world, and take it your own way. Use it to protest your own way, but just don't sit there and say, "Oh, it's too expensive. It must be terrible. I'll never get into it." No, I mean, you're just a complainer that way. You're going to miss out. You're bitter about missing out. If you have it, you've done well. You've done well. Buy and hold, baby. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. That's the key right now. Don't lose it. And you can talk about all the philosophy behind it as much as you want to, if you own it. That's great. What else do we have here? This is where the big boys play. Yeah, I like to say that. All right. God, I wrote down, okay, we talked about B Diamond. We talked about, we're not going to talk about that. Oh, here, Whale Panda. 20% of all Bitcoin is controlled. This is a new mainstream media FUD. This is for the guy, by the way, this is something you ignore. You tell older people to ignore this, but he's making fun of it. New mainstream media FUD. 20% of all Bitcoin is controlled by 112 people, and that's dangerous. They're using the rich list from Bitfin, from info charts. They don't seem to grasp the idea of cold storage wallets from exchanges. Example number one on the list of is and the Bitfinex cold wallet is listed number one on that list. Basically, what he's saying is that some mainstream media people are saying that 20% of all Bitcoin is controlled by 112 people, because they look at the rich list of the richest address and they see 112 addresses have 20% of all the Bitcoin in it. But some of those addresses are exchanges, are not individuals. It's not like that. so they don't even understand what they're looking at, and then they write an article about it, and it scares people. So there you go. You got to be careful. Just because it's written by a mainstream media source doesn't mean they even know what the heck they're talking about. All right, quickly, Ansel Lindner has a tweet. Imagine long ago, the time between gold being just pretty to gold being money. The price appreciation must have been staggering. That's what we're experiencing with Bitcoin. We are watching monetization of a new asset. And that's a great point. And it's happening in a very short period of time. With gold, went from being pretty to money, thousands of years that took. It's an interesting way of looking at things. I link to that below. All right, newbie tip of the day here. Winding up the show. Newbie tip of the day. I do not like paper wallets at all. If you're a newbie, don't be cheap and don't play around with paper wallets. A lot have asked me about this. I know Andy Hoffman probably agrees with me on this, that there's just it's a pain in the butt to get your Bitcoin off of the paper wallet. Okay, it's easy to get it onto the paper wallet in theory, but it can catch on fire. It's a pain. It is not as easy as people make it out to be. I understand the way newbies think. They're not going to be able to handle these paper wallets. So newbies, forget about the paper wallet thing. Forget if people are telling you, oh, you could save a lot of money just by doing a paper wallet. I mean, you can listen to those people. I wouldn't recommend listening to those people, though. Yeah. And what ends up happening is that you pay people like Andy and I to help you get the Bitcoin off of that paper wallet, because you're so panic stricken when you can't do it on your own. Don't end up in that situation. Just get a Trezor, pay $100, whatever it is. It will split your crypto dividends for you. Again, with these paper wallets, people are like, well, how do I get my crypto dividend off? How do I get my Bcash off of it? How do I get my B? Again, you get cornered into this complex situation that you don't have to be in. And it's safer to be on a Trezor. It just is. It just is. And again, for a second, the paper wallet touches the internet under certain circumstances. I'm not even going to get into that. Okay, that's it for the Bitcoin part of the show. Adam's health tip of the, you can turn it off if you want now. Adam's health tip of the day. Again, it's a reminder to never take a statin. If your doctor prescribes you a statin, don't even know. There are better ways. If you're overweight, just start to lose weight. Do not eat carbs. Cut bread out. Cut soda out. Do not worry about your cholesterol will also drop, but don't worry about your cholesterol. It is, again, you need cholesterol for your brain to function. And if you unnaturally decrease your cholesterol, you're going to end up with Alzheimer's, and that's not good. And the statin does that. The statins are horrible drugs. Horrible. And again, another tip, expiration dates on food or sell-by dates. They're usually completely nonsense. It's just the companies want you to throw away your food, so you buy more food from them. Now, if you still eat processed foods and you shouldn't, that stuff lasts forever. If it's got like candy bars, they say they expire. They have expiration. Those things never expire. They're just as good 10 years later. They're so filled with sugar. They're like preserved. It's like formaldehyde. Now, I'm not saying to eat that stuff, but, take it down a couple levels. A lot of food, if it's got salt in it, if it's got sugar in it or whatever, and salt is all right for you, but it's going to last. Even chicken you buy at the store, it has a sell-by date on it. It's still, if it smells good, it's good still. The fat preserves it. So don't freak out and be like, there are a lot of mothers out there. They see that date and they throw it away. They don't want their kid touching it after that sell-by. If it hits that sell-by date, that's it. That's it. They'll go out and buy more. And that's why, like, 20% of the food in the world, in the United States, is totally wasted, is thrown out because of these sell-by dates and the fake expiration dates. I eat expired and past sell-by date food all the time. Never had a problem. Never had a problem. And I'm talking about meats. I'm talking about chicken and turkey or whatever, organic stuff. It lasts. It's still good the next day. You smell it. Fish, just smell it. If it smells bad, then yeah, don't eat it. But if it's past a magical date and it smells and looks fine, you eat it. And that's how you save some money too. And make society. I mean, you're whatever. You save money, you buy Bitcoin with it. That's it. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember, subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Do check out the notes section below. Pound that like button. I'll say hello to you guys in the chat. Bye.